orange and blue muster up enough to get back into this series, or will the team be on the verge of lights out by night's end? We get you set for Game 3 between the Oilers and the Kings right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show live on location. Yeah. For the first time in 2 years at the Canadian Ice House, like old times. Old friends are here. New friends are here. You're about to hear from one right away. It's going to be a great time. Dennis Bernstein standing by. We've got Cass, who's going to be joining us early on in the show. There's Dylan. Oh, I used to work with him at OEG. Wheels is here. Wheels is here with VR Montenegro. We are ready to go. It's a packed ice house. It's a beautiful day outside, and we're off and running. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Hit that thumbs up button. You guys have been awesome all week long. Keep those texts coming in. We want to hear from you. How nervous are you? Bernstein and I were having a bite to eat, and he goes, Tommy, I think Oilers fans are losing faith. I think they're losing faith, and we've had a few people say it. So as I get set to welcome in our first guest, I will remind everyone that GCL Diesel are providers of the best diesel engine components around. Turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. And if you're watching right now, you're going, who's that sitting beside you, Tommy? And if you're listening, I'm going to introduce her. You guys know her. You see her in the nasty chat. She texts us. She is a huge Oilers fan, diehard. CJ in LA, now CJ in Chicago, has had quite the journey today. CJ, great to meet you in person.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome back to God's country.
Thank you.
Tell us about your journey today.
It started at 3 a.m. Central Time when I left for the airport. So left Chicago at 5 to Denver, got there 6:30, 5-hour layover.
Yep.
Thank God for the United Club Lounge access. That
very
saved
smart
me.
play,
yeah.
yes.
And then landed here at 2:45. And my luggage is actually at the table back there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, came literally right downtown.
Oh, my God. Okay, so 48-hour trip. You're going to watch the game. You're a diehard Oiler fan.
Yeah, born and raised in Edmonton.
Born and raised in Edmonton. You're doing great work in Chicago. You're a nasty.
I am.
Which is
Proudly.
Fantastic. We love that. Yeah, I remember you were wearing your, was it the EST pin and then some other stuff?
Yeah, Chicago Oilers game.
Yeah, that's right. And I was like, represent. All right. Yeah. We should try to find you some more EST gear before you go back home. Okay. Give us some positive juju, because there is some doubt. Bernstein was talking about it. There have been some people. You said your brothers who were here with you were kind of poo-pooing everything. Tell us about your take on everything and why you think tonight's going to go okay.
I think it's going to be great. Okay. We're at home, so we haven't been at home yet, right? So you can't beat the home crowd. I like the Pickard start. I think that's very wise. Okay. And, I mean, they are kind of on the ropes. It's a must-win. So I believe that they will rise to the challenge, and I think we're going to score first.
Okay, good. There's positivity. The scoring first thing, I think, would be huge. Yeah, exactly. From 1 to 10, your concern level.
This morning, I was quite low. I think it's gotten worse as the day's gone because I'm
listening to your brothers.
Being influenced, but I'm a 4.
Yeah?
Yeah, 4 concerned.
Okay,
I feel good.
Good.
40% concerned, 60% positive.
All right. I have to ask you, your origin story with us, because you've been kind of with us from the beginning. Yeah,
so I have been, yes, with EST, but rewind to, so I went to grad school in Boston at Harvard, and I had major homesickness. I had moved from here, went straight from U of A, had never lived in the States, and I listened to Nielsen and Frasier every morning.
Oh, nice.
While I got ready, and it was my connection back to home. Okay. And so I've listened to Dusty since then. That was a long time ago. So yeah, I've been kind of around ever since and just followed it to EST today. And I listen every day. I listen while I walk to work. So in Chicago, I walk to and from work.
Great city, by the way.
Just love it. So yeah, it's great. It's always on. I have it on at my desk when I can. Yes. And then when I'm in meetings, it's a later listen, which is fine.
Okay, your favorite EST personality?
Coob.
What? Stop clapping, Bernstein. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
He's just so adorable.
He is very innocent.
Self-deprecating.
Yeah, he doesn't hide anything. No. Everything you see is what you get.
I know. And I'm a big golfer, as you know, so I'm loving this
Break 100?
Yeah.
I think he's going to do it. He's going to take you up on the offer. He already sent like an order in.
Yep.
You've got great hookups, which is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. So I love the fact you're representing EST down in Chicago. Before that was LA.
Yep. I love it. And like I tell everyone here about it and make sure everyone listens at home. And like my mom listens religiously. My brothers listen. Yeah. It's like, when it's not on, like Good Friday, when you guys were off, like we don't get Good Friday off in the States because they hate holidays. And I was like, it was like silent in my world. And I was like, I'm sorry, what am I supposed to listen to? Like,
all we had was reruns that day.
Yeah, I know. So, no, you guys fill a nice little hole in my like homesick life. So it's nice.
We are very, very honored and happy to do so. And look at this. As a thank you, Tia.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. We got a little boso for CJ. Get her ready for the game. Ease some of the nerves. Give us your prediction, CJ, because see how fast it goes on the show?
I know, it's crazy.
It goes really quick. You get used to it, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Prediction 4-2 Oilers.
And they score first, you said. Okay.
Within the first 10 minutes.
I think you're going to be cheering loud and proud with 18,346 others.
I will be one of them.
Willing them to a goal early.
No wave. We will not be doing the wave.
Thank you.
At any point in time.
That is much appreciated.
I will be swatting hands. No.
Stop it. All of you, just scold them. Stop it.
This isn't good juju. We don't need this.
Exactly. CJ, an honor.
Thank you for having me.
Great to meet you. I had to have you on here because you traveled all this way today.
Yep.
And you are nasty. So thank you so much, CJ, and stick with us. You know we like to have fun. So
I'll never quit you.
That's why you're the best. CJ in Chicago, who made the trip today, she's going to go and try to support the Oilers. All the positive juju in the world, and have a libation or two.
I will.
Okay?
There'll be a few.
Okay, as there should be. CJ, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, there you go.
Bye,
There's a nasty. Bye to the nasties, she says. Absolutely tremendous start to the show. I love that very, very much. Dennis Bernstein will be stopping by in a couple minutes. He's already here. He had a bite to eat, which is fantastic. We're live at the Canadian Ice House. It's a great atmosphere. The weather is fantastic, and we have a lot to get to. So keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Let's bring in the Latino Heat. Nancito, look at that. We got CJ on. CJ in Chicago, she's on here. How about that?
Yeah, cool, man. Pretty cool. Just chilling with Joaquin and Coob here. Just, you know.
Joaquin's still there, huh?
Yeah, and we got Cass coming up here right away.
We have Bernstein coming up. He's going to join first. We got Cass at 7:10.
I think you sent it the other way.
Did I send it the other way? My bad.
Yeah, so tell Dennis sorry.
No, I did send Bernstein. Bernstein 6:40, Cass 7:10.
Sorry. I'm tired, man. I can't do.
Are you nervous too?
No, I'm not nervous. The Oilers are winning today. It's going to be like the St. Louis game. It's going to be a 6-7 spot tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not saying they're winning the series. I'm saying they're winning tonight. I even guaranteed it. So it's not going to be close tonight, boys. It's going to be a quick game. We'll be done early, and then we can all meet at the Ice House for some post-game bevies.
Yes, we will enjoy some post-game bevies.
Gage can't hear.
Yeah, here we go.
Is Ekholm playing? Is that why you think it's going to be a win? Because
what's that?
Is Ekholm playing? Because
no,
you're so confident.
I just think the Oilers at home, they're going to show up tonight, and
they have to show up.
They have to, exactly. And then listen, they can be worse than they were in the first two games, but I just don't see it with this team. And again, it's one game. I'm not predicting anything further. I think the Oilers win tonight. I think Joaquin wants to say something, Tito.
Joaquin does.
No, he doesn't. He just wants to listen to you. Okay, hold on.
Wow. Oh, good.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't wait to hear
that.
this.
Here, right?
Just Dennis. Just Dennis. Good to see you,
Joaquin.
Dennis. You're looking great,
brother.
man.
Thank you, Val. Appreciate it.
Enjoy the city. And
I love coming up here, man.
Hopefully we can press the flesh at some point.
Yeah, I love the city. I love the passion of the fans. It's great.
DB's got fans everywhere he goes. That's how good he is. That's why he's the best.
Be careful with Tommy, DB. careful.
No, I already learned my lesson for years.
on.
Yeah, I've learned my lessons.
Okay.
I know what to do.
Whatever. Let's get into starting lineups before we dive in with Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period. Starting lineups, as always, brought to you by Southport Chev. Buy now and save 0% financing OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. And it's that time of year for your seasonal tire change. Should be getting that done, especially with how hot it is today. Those winter tires would be melting if they're still on your vehicle. Mention that EST sent you and receive an on-rim tire change for $59.95 plus tax. And they're also giving a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details. www.southportchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at Southport Chev. For the Oilers tonight, DB, this is what it's looking like. The defense we're going to discuss, obviously. McDavid between Draisaitl and Hyman, so Hyman gets bumped up. It was Perry going into the game the other night. Nugent-Hopkins between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Nugent-Hopkins needs to get his butt in gear from an Oilers standpoint.
Agreed.
Henrique between Kane and Brown. Then we've got Janmark centering Frederick and Perry on defense. This is my guess at how it's going to be rolled out, because the Klingberg-Bouchard rotation today, Knobloch said don't pay a lot of attention to that. Maybe they're trying to play the a little bit of trickery on the Kings, or maybe it was just out of necessity. So I'm guessing it's going to be Nurse with Emerson.
Okay.
Kulak with Bouchard, and my rationale for that is Kulak has been very steady. They have tried Nurse with Bouchard. I think maybe to settle Bouchard down, they put Kulak with him. This is my guess. We'll confirm at warm-up. And then Wallman with Klingberg. And Klingberg surprisingly had a decent night for the Oilers.
He might have been their best defenseman.
And he hadn't played in weeks.
Yeah.
So that's my best guess at what the defensive pairings actually look like for the Oilers tonight. No Jeff Skinner, no Kasperi Kapanen, no Max Jones, no Josh Brown, no Derek Ryan. As for the Kings, if I flub anything, get in on this.
Will do.
Andrei Kopitar between Andrei Kuzmenko and Kempe. That line's been killer.
Yep.
Quentin Byfield with Kevin Fiala and Alex Laferriere also been really good.
Yep.
This line, I love Trevor Moore. I always talk about it with Deneau and Fogle. And then you got Malott and Hellenius are the extra forwards, if you will.
Now you might get Trevor Lewis. I think they're going to go 12-6 tonight, Tom.
Okay.
So I think you'll see Trevor Lewis, and Turcotte was an extra.
Yep.
And Lewis was gone by the time we got in the room, so I think they're going to go 12-6 because Movari was the seventh defenseman the other night. He didn't play till it was 2:53 left in the game. So
I wondered
didn't make
about
any sense.
that. Yeah.
Didn't make sense. So you're not going to see a lot of those guys. So if they do go 12-6, you're going to see that fourth line probably play 5 to 6 minutes. It's not going to be a big impact.
We'll need to talk about that too, because I know a lot of Oiler fans, they look at the depth that the Oilers have and then they go, well, the Kings have better forwards, they have better forward depth. The Kings are playing three lines essentially. They went 11-7 deliberately in game 2 when they're up in the series.
The Kings have better wings. They have better wings. I don't think it's close right now. I think that's one of the deciding factors in the first 2 games. But I do want to say this. It's great number one, thumbs up. It's great to be back at the Canadian Ice House.
Yes.
Thumbs down. It's hard to be the third best looking host on this show. There's you, there's CJ, and me. So the rankings would be.
Stop it.
I would be the third. So
you're the most charming, though.
Okay, I have to make up for it.
CJ is delightful.
She is delightful.
And I'm just the grumpy guy that's always here.
Yeah. But tonight, look, here's the thing. I wrote a piece for the fourth period this morning about it. This will be the most difficult game for the Kings to play all season, without question. Right? And people said, 5-6 games. I'm sorry, the Oilers were in a deeper hole against a better team in June and got out of it. So I'd still expect a long series. I picked the Kings in 6. I think that's still pretty good pick. It's just, Tom, the depth's not there. The injury factor's not there.
Right.
And what turned it for me, I would have picked the Oilers probably 5 games left in regular season, but when Matthias Ekholm went out, that flipped it for me. He's such a huge loss for this team. Because you mentioned the possibility of, having Kulak calming down Bouchard.
Yep.
He was such a steady influence. He made Bouchard great last year, and it's not happening this year. And now the goaltender change, I understand it. A lot of fans want to blame Skinner, but I'm sorry. You look at the mistakes that were made by the team in front of him. Yeah, okay, if you win with Pickard, that's fine. But I expect a really, really difficult game for the Kings tonight.
We're going to dive into that as well. Let's go for the defense here. Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty. No change there, right? Vladislav Gavrikov with Jordan Spence. What's the deal with them not playing Spence all that much?
He can't defend. He's an offensive player. So,
Okay.
And then what you might see if they go with that, because I think in game one he played 6 minutes.
Yep.
I think what you see is Gavrikov jump over to the right side and they play 4 defensive, because you're right, they play 3 lines, they play 4D, and then at the bottom pair you probably have Edmonton, who's been a godsend for this team, and Brant Clark, who had a pretty goal in game 2.
Yeah. Speaking of Edmonton, he's paired up with Brant Clark, like you just said. That was a nice goal that he did score. Matthias Janmark kind of let him slip by. He buried it. Big celebration. Out. Akil Thomas, Kyle Burrows, Alex Turcotte, Moverare, we're anticipating is going to be out as well. Okay. Starting goalies tonight, 33-year-old Calvin Pickard for the Oilers. 0-0 record is 632 goals against average, 667 save percentage in his lone appearance in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. And I mean, he got scored on that first shot by
tough spot to be in.
That was.
With a team that was red hot with red hot sticks. Come on.
Do you think that was a weird time to put him in? Like they waited for the
Absolutely
TV timeout after the goal?
But Knoblauch's done weird things here, and it's worked for him. So I don't have a problem with playing. Just the timing of it was unusual.
Yeah.
And you just hope you didn't lose Skinner. Like now, what's going in Stu's mind right now? If it doesn't work tonight, and he's got to go in back for game 4, is he going to be emotionally ready? So there's a concern. But you know what? You got to grow up, because Chris Knoblauch is worried about one game, and he thinks that Calvin Pickard can win in this game tonight. So he's going with him.
See if it pays off. At the other end of the rink, it's been rock steady for Darcy Kemper. A great season. Not a great postseason necessarily. He is 2-0, 350 goals against average, 863 save percentage in this year's playoffs. Lifetime versus Edmonton, a 2-0 record, 4.07 goals against average, 851 save percentage in 3 appearances. Played that one game when he was with the Avs, got the snow and ice in his eye and missed the rest of the series. Didn't matter, they swept Edmonton in that series. The Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report coming at you right now. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportmed.ca. For the Oilers, Troy Stetcher. He was on the ice for the morning skate, which is a good sign.
Yes.
Matthias Ekholm, lower body. Alec Regula, IR knee. There's a guy you and I were talking about off the air a little bit, like why? What for?
Yeah.
But you know what?
There's a lot of question marks with respect to the moves that were made this season. So
as there should be.
Yep.
At the other end of the rink, LA, Tanner Jeannot. What's going on there?
Lower body injury. I think it's his knee. He went down. He got into a fight. I forgot what. Maybe it was the I forget. Late in the season, and he got into a fight, and then later in the game, he just went down non-contact.
Ooh, that's not.
And
good.
when you go down non-contact, and he's with the team, he's walking around, looks fine. I would not expect him for the series. But the good news for the Kings is that his replacement is 6'5" and 220. Jeff Malott, whose brother is a UFC fighter.
What?
So,
what? The Habs just scored.
There you go.
So you were asking, actually, do Oilers fans and Canadian fans cheer for other Canadian teams? And I went through the list. I was like, Vancouver, I don't think Oilers fans necessarily love them. Flames.
But who loves Vancouver anyway?
Nobody really, except for Vancouver. And then, Winnipeg, Ottawa, sure, right? Toronto, no. And then Montreal, I said yes. You just heard the buzzer go off for the Habs, who just scored. Who do we have here? What was that? Nick Suzuki. Good forecheck. Then what? Bad giveaway. Is that Hudson?
Hudson, of course it's Hudson.
Great feed.
So
Caulfield, yeah. Look at that. Good instinct.
That's some top line.
That was a nice goal. So the Habs get one here. What's the score? Is that 2-1?
No, 3-2 Montreal.
All right.
Period.
There you go. It was 1-1 last I checked. Such a chatty Cathy so far, but 3-2 the Habs.
You're a man of the people, Tom. I expect you to be with the fans here.
I learned from the best.
Your return to the ice house. Let's go. Come on.
So good to be back here. All right. Dennis Bernstein with us from the fourth period. You can catch him on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio as well. Let's talk about this Kings team. Some of the things that have impressed you and maybe surprised you through 2 games from LA, if there are anything.
Oh, there is. And I think I put this on social media. If I told you before the series, after 2 games, one team would score 12 goals, have 5 power play goals, and a 50% conversion rate, you would tell me that's the Edmonton Oilers. It's not. It's the other team.
Right.
This is Tom, I told you when it was on the end of the season. The last 24 games, the Kings are 19-5. And the 5th loss was against the Calgary Flames in the last game of the season. That was meaningless.
Right.
This is a very different team that rolls. The challenge for the Oilers is the bottom 4D matching up against three lines that can score, right? You talked about Byfield and Kopitar's line.
Right.
But Phil Deneau won them the game in game one. So this is a very difficult team to defend right now. And that's the challenge. Now below the top pair, Kulak's got to be better. Jake Wallman has to be way better and can't make bad decisions by taking penalties. This is a team that can score. This is not the same old defensive Kings team that had one line last year. And people forgot that Quentin Byfield last year was a left winger. This year he's a center driving play, and he's got a 35-goal scorer on his wing in Kevin Fiala. So if you have been watching the Kings since the trade deadline, and I haven't even talked about Kuzmenko, very different team, very dangerous team. And I think the only way the Oilers can win this game is to make it a 6-5 or 5-4 game.
Mancito, you want to jump in with DB here?
Sorry, boys. I was just watching the scraps in the bench in the Montreal game. So
this is wild.
This is good.
This is great.
Is that Tommy Wilson going nuts? Yeah, of course.
That's Tommy Wilson and John. Yeah. No, DB, I wanted to ask you, obviously great vibes for the LA Kings. And listen, it's hard for Edmonton fans to give credit to LA, but I think LA's been by far the better team in the two games.
Yep.
Tonight, DB, LA knows what they're up against. LA knows it's going to be a ruckus crowd and all that.
Yeah.
But LA also knows that they take this one, it's over, right? How do you see LA approaching this game? Do they change anything? Because in my eyes, they don't need to change anything because they've been really good outside of one period.
No, they need to play with pace. The same pace they played, force the issue. Don't lay back. Don't go in a shell. They can match their scoring this year, and that's the big difference. This team, if they go down 2-0 in the first period, they can come back on you now. And that was the one thing, and that's what you saw. So their home record, the road record wasn't great, but they had a stretch here. And believe it or not, watching this team play in January, they scored 19 goals in 10 games. Right? Yeah. And now look at this team, right? 12 goals. Kuzmenko's been a godsend for them. He's really galvanized the power play, a right shot play. So, no, I don't think Jim Hiller wants to change anything. He might go from 11-7 to 12-6, but with respect to playing at pace and playing with tempo, they can skate with this team. It's hard to cover a Kevin Fiala. And a guy like Byfield, who's 6'5", and his wingspan is probably 7 foot. It's a very different team. It's a harder team to defend. So I just think more of the same. But you know what, Hernan? There's still a massive amount of respect for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Nobody's counting them out. Nobody's saying the series is over. This is still a very dangerous team, and they just have to play better, and they have to eliminate mistakes. They made way too many mistakes in the first two games. So even if the Kings scored 4 goals in those games, even though the Oilers got 5 in the first game, they would have won those games, right? So it's a situation where the Kings don't need to change anything. The Oilers have to eliminate mistakes.
DB, if you look at this Kings team, are there any elements of the Kings game that you think the Oilers could try to expose?
Yeah.
What would they be?
Right side D.
Yeah.
Drew Doughty's not the same Drew Doughty, without question, right? The guy who's on ice for 3 goals against in game 1. Jordan Spence, we talked about, 6 minutes in game 1. And Brant Clark is a gifted offensive player. His defense is getting better, but he's not a great defender. So I think what we might see in game, Tom, if they do get exposed on the right side, we might see Gavrikov go over to the right side. They might shorten the bench with respect to the D. So I think that if they're going to attack the Kings, I think they attack the right side D, because clearly the left side with Gavrikov and Anderson and Joel Edmonton, who's been great, he's a plus 27 this season, is far superior to the right side.
DB, how much different of a game are we going to see tonight, do you think, compared to the first two, especially in the last one where it was tight for a bit and then just that stretch where all hell broke loose for the Kings in a good way?
No, I don't see that. I don't really see it. I think the game would be called differently. I think there'd be more opportunity for the Oilers on the power play because they're at home. I don't see it as a blowout. I think it's a high-scoring game. I'd play the over.
Yeah.
I'd play the over in every game series because Kemper hasn't been great in this series. But you know what? This team, when they do play defense, they don't give up a lot. They've given up more chances in the first 2 games than they normally do, but fortunately for them, their offense has really come through. So I think you play with pace. I think they can skate with them. I think you force the issue. I think this is not a situation where you can say, oh, we lose tonight, we can go get game 4 and go home and clinch the series. I think you got to put the pedal to the metal, put it all gas, no brakes if you're a Kings player. And if you wind up losing 5-4, it's probably the optional way to play, because I don't think you can win this game 3-1 here.
Dennis Bernstein with us live at the Canadian Ice House as we get you set for Game 3, Oilers and the Kings. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Hit that thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. Hernan Salas back at ESTHQ. Nanso, do you have a question of the night? Maybe we'll start by firing it to DB.
Yeah, it's just very simple. It was going to be regarding, well, it is regarding Calvin Pickard. Can he give the Oilers the goaltending they need going forward? Now, guys, I asked that because Tom, as you know, he played a lot down the stretch, and he was really good. It almost seems that, for me, in the last 3 months, he was a better goaltender out of the two for the Edmonton Oilers. I know Skinner missed a handful of games due to the head injury there, but Pickard, it just seems like he's more confident. He just doesn't get rattled easily. It seems like the team plays more calm as well. But guys, when you look at Calvin Pickard, can he be the one to turn this series around? As a veteran guy who's been up and down through the AHL and the NHL, has found his groove in the last year and a half with the Oilers, that's why I asked, because this is not a guy that's been in the NHL for 10 straight years, right? He's been a pro. Yep. He hasn't been a regular NHLer. Can Pickard be the difference for the Edmonton Oilers in Series 1?
Well, has he ever played in a game this important? That's the question.
The answer is no. He's barely played any playoff games.
Exactly. Here's the thing, Hernan. It doesn't matter who the goalie is. If you're going to play like that in front of the goalie, it doesn't matter if it was Ken Dryden or Martin Brodeur. They have to be better in front of him. So can he makes the decision? Because let's go back to Game 2. He's not stopping Clark's goal, right? He's not stopping Byfield's goal. Byfield, that was an elite move. Victor Arvidsson gave the puck away for the fourth goal. What? So you want to put it on Skinner? I looked at the goal and I'm like, no, it was his fault. But I understand why Noah Block wants. He wants to change the dynamic. He wants to change the momentum. So if Cal comes in and has 26 saves and they win 4-3, then it's the right choice. I don't think it's going to cost them the game. I just think it goes back to the three forwards and the two defensemen in front of the goaltender that have to be better defensively.
Hey Tommy, would you say which one's bigger? Because Pickard did play in Game 4 last year against Vancouver.
Right.
An important game. Do you think that one was bigger or this one? Because of what they're facing right now, down 2-0.
Well, I think that one was bigger because of the circumstance and the round that they were in and who they were playing. I still think that there is a belief in the Oilers that they can beat the Kings, and they think that this is the same Kings that they played the last 3 years. That's something that they have discussed, and Connor McDavid's one of the guys that actually said it bluntly. He goes, we know them. Yes, they have a few different guys, but we think we can beat them. So I think that belief is still there, and the timing of when they put Pickard in last year was so crucial, and he came up big. He was good in both games, but he was huge for them in that win. I wouldn't put the loss on him at all, but that gave Stu Skinner the time to regroup. I remember Papa Oiler, Sam Gagne, pulling him aside and talking to him on the bench for like 15 minutes after their practice one morning, and that seemed to get Stu Skinner back into the right mindset.
And there's a history. Remember Jack Campbell in LA?
Yeah.
He saved that game.
That's
he
right.
Turned it. So there is a history of a goalie going in for Stu Skinner, or was it Smith? I don't remember.
No, that was Jack Campbell going in for Stu Skinner. That's right.
So there is there. But here's the thing. Here's the one thing, and I don't think the Oilers lacking confidence, because when you got 97 and 29, you're going to be confident going in thinking you win any game.
Yeah.
Here's the difference, though. Last 3 seasons, the Kings lose Game 1. When Connor takes control of that game and ties it at 5, they lose that game in all the previous 3 series.
Right.
They certainly don't come back 36 seconds later and win the game. That's the difference with this Kings team. It's a more relaxed team. It's a more comfortable team. It's a team that has believed in itself since the trade deadline, since Kuzmenko came in.
There you go, Nanso. Do you like those answers?
Yeah, no, it's great. Great discussion. I mean, it's fascinating what happens tonight with Calvin Pickard, because I think what we discussed on all the shows today was, let's just say they lose, but it's 3-2 and he's brilliant. You're not going away from him. Now, I still think no matter what happens tonight, Pickard's your Game 4 starter, and then they'll address the goalie situation heading into if there is a Game 5, right?
Yeah, he'd have to be terrible tonight to go back to Skinner. If he plays decently. You know what? It's the old cliche. Stop the shots you need to stop. No bad goals. No moment. I remember when Mike Smith was playing here, and those momentum-sucking goals that he would give up would take the air out of the arena. Right? That's what I remember. You can't afford to do that. Right now, the way the Kings are playing offensively and the confidence they have, they've never been up in a series 2-0 against this team. So it's not about the Oilers' confidence. It's a more confident LA team.
DB, I want to kind of expand on this a little bit too. Give us an outsider's perspective of Stu Skinner, because in this market, he has just been fed everything. People are just destroying him, shredding him, and we get critiqued and people complain that we are Skinner sympathizers. And listen, like, when he's been bad, we've said he's been bad.
Yep.
But this team defensively, in my opinion, has been subpar for a lot of the season. And that has continued in the postseason. So we like to point that out. How do you look at Stu Skinner at 26 years of age, finishing up his third full NHL season?
If you want to blame Stu Skinner for the woes of this team, also blame the front office. Because all the moves they made to replace guys, they replaced them with worse guys. They did.
Yeah.
Right. You want Warren Fogle back instead of Orbison? Probably.
Yep.
Right? You want Ron McLeod, who's got 20 goals in Buffalo? Probably. Right? Just the moves that they made, it just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. So, look, he's only 26 years old. And he did take him to a Game 7 last year. And without question, this team isn't as good as the team that was one goal away from winning a Stanley Cup. It's not. So you can blame him for that, but also blame the supporting cast, blame the management. It just hasn't been good enough. Like that the support that the goaltender needed, he hasn't gotten. And not for nothing, if I go back to Ekholm, if Ekholm played in the first 2 games and they win 5-2 in those games, nobody's talking about Stu Skinner. The supporting cast isn't as good. That's the problem with Stu Skinner.
There you go. There's an outsider's perspective on Stu Skinner. You might not like it, but that's someone who's got a clear look at it and is not tied up in the muck of this market.
I wouldn't give up on him.
Right.
Now, they may trade for a goalie in the offseason. Sure, whatever. Cool. I would not give up on a 26-year-old goaltender with that size and that athletic ability.
All right, we have a special treat for you. He has just made his way to the Ice House. It is Reed Wilkins from The Reed Wilkins Show. Tom Gazzola, Dennis Bernstein, Hernan Salas with you. Reed, Rick, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Dennis, nice to meet you in person.
Likewise, Reed. It was a pleasure. Love hearing you on the air.
Handsome. You are quite handsome.
I'm the 4th best looking guy now on this show.
Okay,
exactly.
Settle down.
What you heard what Dennis had to say about Stu Skinner there. You can't see Reed, he's just off camera. We'll talk to him later on the post-game show for Reed as well, but I figured we'd get you on for a couple minutes. What do you think of the whole goaltending situation right now?
Well, I think Pickett's been the better goalie clearly since the Four Nations face-off, and therefore he has to try and salvage something out of this series tonight. Dennis, I have a personal policy. I don't talk a lot about the offseason until the team is eliminated, but I do agree I wouldn't shoot Stuart Skinner into the sun this summer. I still think he's relatively young for a goalie and has played very well at stretches. Overall, this hasn't been a good year for him. It's been subpar. He was good in the middle of the season when most of the team was pretty good. So that's the thing. And if the Oilers do advance, we'll probably still see him at some point in the playoffs. So right now, they got to try and get a win tonight. Did you see the Sanderson-Wilson fight?
Unreal.
Okay, it was on the monitor here? Yeah, I just missed it, so I'm just seeing it on Twitter. That's crazy. Yeah.
Rick, what was the vibe and what was the mood that you were hearing from listeners?
Well, that's a good question. I think there's definitely a lot of people trying to be optimistic. I mean, as I said, first thing I said to you Wednesday night was the next game starts 0-0. Right? Goals never carry over. Often momentum doesn't even carry over from game to game in the NHL. So I think there's still some optimism. There are some people looking at the Kings road record, which was 16th of the 16 playoff teams. So that's something Oilers fans are hanging their hats on. But I still think there's a huge concern about the Oilers' speed. And I think there's a huge concern about how many Oilers players, a lot of them forwards, who are not doing anything. I mean, it's one thing not to score. Most nights, most guys don't score. The penalty killers clearly are killing penalties, and there's not a ton of checking going on. There's not a lot of Oilers forwards who are being nuisances. Like, I don't know if the Kings are talking on the plane or if they had a pint in the dressing room after the game and were like, oh, that guy's a pain in the butt. I mean, maybe Perry still, quite frankly, maybe Janmark still to this point. Like, I don't think the Kings are sitting there thinking, man, Podkolzin's all over me, or man, Henrique can still shoot the puck, or even Hyman is grinding me down as much as maybe in years past. So I think that's still a big concern from the fan base, Tom. And then obviously, you know, on defense, who's really playing great? I know you mentioned Ekholm Dennis. I'm not trying to talk too much about that because the Oilers beat the Kings without Doughty a few years ago, so it happens. You got to be able to adapt. Sure. But yeah, there's a lot of gaps that got to be made up here for Edmonton. So I still get the sense that's a pretty big concern. Quite frankly, Knobloch's getting criticized for the lines or too many changes or not enough changes, or however you want to look at it. Clearly, I think there's a sentiment would Jeff Skinner not be more effective than a clearly injured Trent Frederick at this point. Right. I think if Frederick were healthy, maybe that wouldn't be much of an argument, but I think because Frederick doesn't seem to be able to bring what he was brought here for, and you do have Kane back in the lineup, you know, I think that's a worthwhile question to ask.
It's the oldest team in the league. Yes, it is the oldest team in the league, so you're gonna, you know, I think the Kings have a distinct advantage on the wing. Their wingers are just better. They have 235 goal scorers on the wing. And I love Zach Hyman. Zach's not a 50 goal scorer, he's a 30 goal scorer. And he's been banged up. And I think the injury factor as well. How many of the Oilers are, well, everybody's banged up this time of year. How many are hurt? How many are injured? And I just think that's really hurt them as well.
DB, we got Matt Kassian coming on in a couple of minutes. I want to ask you one more question. While Reed's still here, Reed's got to have a bite to eat, get ready for the game. Talking to the Kings players and the coaching staff, what's your sense of their mood and how they feel right now?
Oh, they believe they can beat this team. Yeah. This is the best version of the Kings in 4 years, without question. The best, top to bottom. There are guys like Edmonton coming in, stabilizing. They finally found the goaltender in Darcy Kemper. They know, look, they still have massive respect for this team, and nobody's saying or thinking this series is over. Because it's not. It's not. But there's a confidence in that room, and there's a relaxed feeling in the room with respect to the group. Right. Like, you know, they take these pictures after the game with the helmet and stuff like that. When Todd was here, that never happened. It's a much more relaxed, confident team with Jim Hiller, who doesn't get enough credit for the job he's done here. So I think they're a confident team, but they're not selling the Oilers short. And like I said at the top of the show, this will be the hardest game of the 85 games the Kings will play will be tonight.
All right, one more for you. Reed, thank you. Enjoy your bite to eat. I'll talk to you on the post-game show. DB, the firefighter's helmet.
Yes.
There was some, I think, confusion. I had Carlin Bathe came up to me today. She goes, why am I seeing Oilers Twitter taking shots at this? This is not a new thing, and it's not mocking Stu Skinner. I don't know where. Okay. I don't follow that. Can you just give us the history on it?
Because there was an image of guys with the helmets on with the finger, the mustache.
Yes.
That was a tribute to Phil Deneau, who won Game 1. It was not mocking or disparaging Stu Skinner.
Right.
So they're totally off base. Anybody that thinks that's the case, no. Because I will tell you, in that room, they have massive respect for this team. Because they beat them. You know, I talked about it with Jim Hiller like a month before the season ended. You knew this was going to be the matchup.
Right.
And I said, you know, is it a different year? He goes, you know what? We respect that. And when the Oilers came in and 5 guys were out at the end of the season, I go, you know, is it any different that he goes, they've beaten us, so we have respect for this team. So they're a confident team, but they certainly weren't mocking Stu Skinner. They respect every player in the other room. So that was misguided criticism for what the Kings were doing in the postgame.
Well, I mean, we have a platform and a voice and a good way to get the clarification out there because Carlin was kind of perturbed by it, and I get it because if people are attacking the Kings and their fan base and the team for something that they don't understand what it is, I think it's good to get the clarification out there. DB, you know this has been awesome. You know we're going to do this again on Sunday, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm here.
You know,
Monday morning.
You know what else? You're the best.
So are you, pal.
Oh, I love it. Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period. He's our Kings insider. It's so good to have him here on location at the Canadian Ice House with us. Big thank you to Reed Wilkins for stopping by before he has a bite to eat, gets fueled up for the game. Thank you, Reed. Appreciate it. You can text us 780-218-9999. Matt Kassian is standing by. Hernan, do you have anything else to say before we dive into Game Changers with Cass?
I love the clarification on that point by DB on the mocking of Stuart Skinner. When I initially saw that, I said, "There's no way that's mocking of Stuart Skinner."
Yeah,
it's just a small group of, let's just call it, not so
silly gooses.
Silly gooses. I have some better words, but I won't use them in there.
I like that.
You can't assume that the LA Kings were mocking Stuart Skinner after one game, guys. So I'm glad DB clarified that, Tommy. You always do a good job of getting on top of those things, because I think it's important to make it clear that they weren't mocking the Edmonton Oilers. It had nothing to do with the Oilers. It was their team, Philip Deneau. So shout out to DB for clearing that up, so then everybody on the X machine, the few that think the LA Kings were mocking the Edmonton Oilers, can stop with that narrative. But I got Cass ready here for you.
Okay, I've got Reed. He's gonna just listen. He's gonna have a bite to eat, but I'll let him listen if he wants to hop on. Yeah, if you want. Let's bring in Cass here. 4 Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass, how you doing tonight, buddy? How are you feeling in terms of the Oilers and everything that's been going on the last couple of days?
Yeah, ask me about 10 minutes into the game. I'm a little undecided at this point. I don't know which direction it's going to go, Tom. Like I the one hand is like I want to feel hope. I want to feel excitement. Like, oh yeah, they're back at home. LA is really good in their home. You win 2 games here, right back in this series, which is true. Based on how they played and how they lost, I'm just still a little nervous, Tom. I'm a little nervous, so I feel like queasy isn't quite the right word, but I just don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I'm a little nervous for this one.
Well, let's talk it out together, shall we? Don't give me the grin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, loosen up that neck. Here we go. Let's get into point number 1 for Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1 is Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin. Listen, there's a lot of people that thought he should be starting in game 1. There's a lot of people that thought he should be starting in game 2, and Calvin Pickard starting in game 3. Not surprised after the LA Kings score what feels like 35 or maybe 40 goals in 2 games against the Edmonton Oilers' shoddy defense and below average goaltending that they got in the first 2 games.
Right.
So I'm all on board with Calvin Pickard starting. But I think we have to temper, like, we can't expect Calvin Pickard to be the difference maker. Like, the Edmonton Oilers play the same way they played the last 2 games, they lose again. Now, if Calvin Pickard can give you some good goaltending and the team can play a lot better in front of him, well, then now we're talking maybe the Oilers got a chance here. But, Pickard, we need him to come in and just play a stable, steady game. We need him to come in and just kind of, well, maybe we do need him to make not just a big save, because he's going to need to make 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 great saves to save a game if they continue to play the way they have been. But I'm just hoping we get some stable, good goaltending from Calvin Pickard. I'm hoping it acts as a little bit of a shot in the arm for this group. And hoping that it does something mentally, Tom. Hoping that it does something. And a second point on Calvin, not Calvin Pickard. I'm going to go to a much older Calvin, actually. Calvin that lived a long, long, long time ago. So he's an old theologian, and he had some good things to say about hope. So it's a great quote. So I'm gonna give it to you, because I have a feeling there could be a lot of prayers going up from Oilers fans tonight. So it's about praying to increase our hope when it is small, awaken it when it's dormant, and it feels a little dormant for me right now. Confirm it when it's wavering. Maybe Pickard can help us do that. Strengthen it when it's weak and raise it up when it is overthrown. Great quote by one John Calvin. I figured we'd throw another thing in there that hope is still alive. Even though maybe myself, I'm not feeling a ton of it right at this moment.
Hey, you get one big save from Calvin in the first 5 minutes that allows the Oilers to go and take the lead. And then everything that John Calvin said goes a long way and rings true. How about that?
Yeah.
And that hope rises. Cass,
that first goal, Tommy, That first goal, like you just alluded to, we haven't seen this team play with the lead in the series, and we haven't seen LA have to adapt to that because either from shoddy penalty killing or just horrible turnovers, they've given up that first goal. So you could be absolutely right.
So point number one of game changers tonight is Calvin. We'll see if Calvin Pickard can give the Oilers the goaltending that they need to get a lead for the first time in this series and maybe force a fifth game and get back into it. Point number two, Cass, simply intensity.
Yeah, I was texting you yesterday. You're kind of flipping back between the Vegas-Minnesota game and the even the St. Louis-Winnipeg game. And I just, especially in the Minnesota-Vegas game, I was struck in watching that game by the level of intensity that both teams had.
Right.
And it just feels like Edmonton has not even got close to hitting that. I think LA has kind of at times, but it feels like Edmonton just hasn't. Like that desperation that we're going to do no matter what it takes. Like we're going to battle in our own end. We're going to fight through everything. We're going to make sure no one gets to the front of our net. Like we're going to dig in. We're going to just do whatever we have to. It just has been not really there the first two games. Like we had maybe 10 minutes of it in game number 3 or game number 1, third period of the first game, period 3. But it just wasn't really there at all, even in game 2. So, Tommy, they need to find that level of intensity.
Right.
Like, if they can't, if we don't see, even especially in the first period, like if we don't see that level of intensity coming out of the gate, I don't know how they come back to win this series. Like, they need to bring a level of intensity that other teams are playing with at this time of the season that we have not seen yet from the Edmonton Oilers.
Can that intensity, be manufactured? You know what I mean? Can they find a way to like talk themselves into playing intense, or does something need to happen on the ice that wakes them up, Cass?
Well, if you haven't woken up after being down 2-0 in a series and getting absolutely spanked in the last game, you check your pulse. Check your pulse. They shouldn't have to have something happen on the ice. Now, if you need some words and some guys getting fired up in the room and guys getting excited and a little rah-rah and a little emotion before you hit the ice, then great, do that. You should have guys that do that. You know, Trent Frederick should be doing that. Evander Kane should be doing that. Darnell Nurse should be doing that. Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid should be doing that. Like, everybody should be doing that. But you shouldn't have to be like, oh, they need something to happen. Oh, they need like a big hit. They need like a big fight. They need like, it's like, no, you just like the moment should be enough. Right. The moment should be enough. There's not going to be any harmonicas to mess with your little ears and to throw you off and to make you upset and to make you feel off. Like there's the harmonicas aren't going tonight. So there is zero or should be zero excuse. Like you shouldn't have to manufacture it, Tom. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs. You are down 2-0 and you are in your own building here, down 2-0. You should not have to manufacture anything. If you do, no hope for this team.
I want to add to that, Cass, because a guy who can drag the team into the fight, can provide a spark, help provide intensity is Evander Kane, and like I think he tried to do as much as he could. I understand. Like I would have him back in the lineup. A conversation came up, and some people were texting in earlier on the Oil Stream in the afternoon saying, "Hey, I would take Jeff Skinner and put him in over Trent Frederick, who is injured, obviously, and can't move. He's turning like a battleship out there." But I disagree with that statement. I think you keep Frederick in there. I think he gives you more on one leg in the playoffs than Jeff Skinner can, because Jeff Skinner's style, I don't think suits, because he doesn't really understand playoff hockey, in my opinion, Cass.
Yeah, but Frederick can't turn. He can't hit. He can't, like, what? I mean, maybe he can give you some emotion in the dressing room. And I know he gets an assist in the series.
Did we lose Cass there, Hernan?
I think so. Hold on here. I'll just put you on your own shot for now. See if we get Cass back. There, you're all on your own
Cass
now,
back.
Man.
Yeah, he's like, that's okay. Riedrich, how are those wings?
Good, Tom. I appreciate being fed before the game.
You're a hungry boy.
It better be hot wings.
Salt and pepper. I'm not too adventurous with the wing flavors.
Washington just tied it, boys.
They did.
Ovechkin, wasn't it?
It was Ovechkin. Yeah,
Cass,
exactly.
Are you back?
We've got him back. Okay, we got him back. Okay.
Hold on.
All right. It kind of cut out there. Do you want to jump in with Cass a little bit, or are you good? Okay, Reed's going to just listen. All right, so that was point number 2. We were talking about Frederick and Kane there, adding to point number 2, which is intensity. I don't know, Cass. I think Frederick can still give you a little bit of something on one leg. I don't think he's the biggest problem for this team over Jeff Skinner. I need to clarify that as well.
Yeah, he's definitely not the biggest problem. I like Skinner over Frederick just because he's.
All right, so let's hope Cass's connection gets stronger and we get him back. It is Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1 was Calvin. Point number 2 was intensity as Cass gets things sorted out on his end. Let's go to Cal in the Park texting in. Cal in the Park says, here's the irony. And Cal and I had this conversation at Hudson's the other night. He says, after the summer, Edmonton Sports Talk said this defense was not good enough to win the cup. The D would be different going into the playoffs. Yet here we are, no glue guys like, say, Cece, Desharnais, guys who knew their roles.
Can I jump in on that, Tom?
Yes, of course.
I disagree because you can't judge it because Ekholm's out. And you can't judge it because Stetcher's out. Like, Stetcher's that sixth defenseman that gives you, everything he's got. He'll block shots. He'll kill penalties. But for me, you can't compare the two because it's one of those things where you don't have Matthias Ekholm. Right. I think Jake Wallman is an upgrade on, it's tough for me because Vinny just couldn't. He was scratched in the last 2 rounds. So CC, you probably miss him on the PK and all that. I get what he's trying to say, but it's you can't compare the D cores because Matthias Ekholm is not playing right now. Matthias Ekholm's playing. I think this group's a little bit deeper. It is because then who's the guys out, right? It's John Klimberg. It's probably Troy Stetcher. That's pretty good for your 6-7. I mean 7-8.
You want to chime in on that? Well, the cohesion.
I mean, look, Ekholm's a massive loss, but I mean, we know they're not going to have him. It's not as if we're hoping he comes back for the next game. So, look, depth is part of winning. Like the Lightning won the Stanley Cup across the street from where we are with Steven Stamkos, I think, playing 8 minutes in the Cup final.
Right.
So it's possible to win without significant players. It's possible to be competitive. Like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I guess, in the first round between these two teams, Doughty didn't play. The Oilers won in 7. I mean, Kings fans are probably thinking he's worth a win, So, look, the Oilers players who are going to be on the ice tonight are capable of playing better than they have in that series.
True.
It's certainly fair to question, will that be enough to beat a Kings team that is very well put together and is playing with a ton of confidence? As the Canadians just scored to go up 4-3 with 15.5. Wow. Left in the third. So, Frederick or Skinner, Ekholm hurt or not, the players who are playing know where they are supposed to be defensively.
Right.
They know how to make passes. They know safe places to put the puck, and they haven't been doing those things.
Right.
If they do those things and are beaten by the Los Angeles Kings, I realize that's still going to be disappointing for Oilers fans, but they'll have been beaten straight up by a team that focused a lot of its energy on building a team that could beat the Oilers and did that. And then we can spend the summer picking apart the roster and what needs to be changed.
Right.
But the current players on the ice tonight are capable of playing better.
I agree.
So they have to do it. Don't turn the puck over. Be patient. And this starts with everybody. Like, it starts with McDavid. Don't fly the zone.
I was just going to say
Get on the defensive side of the puck. Be responsible. Don't take chances. Don't gamble. It starts with plays like that. And if they can start playing smarter and being better positionally, defensively, manage the puck better, then okay, stay in the game. Be patient. Maybe it comes down to a late game scenario, and maybe you get the crucial goal, or maybe you don't. But at least you're not playing from behind 3 or 4 goals every night.
That's a fair point.
Thank you, Tom.
Well done. Thank you for stepping in. Cass is good to go. He's back. He's got his connections sorted out. Cass, all right, let's dive into point number 3 of Game Changers. Tom Gazzola, Reed Wilkins, live on location, Canadian Ice House, down in Ice District. Very good crowd here. Good time. Big thank you to Tian and his staff, Carly, Nikki. They're fantastic. We've got Cass back at his global satellite HQ, and then back at our HQ in our studios is Hernan Salas on the city's west end. Point number 1 on Game Changers was Calvin. Point number 2 was intensity. Cass, point number 3, defending the blue line.
Yeah, how about we hold the blue line here on both the penalty kill and 5-on-5. I think zone entry has been a massive issue for them, and I think their challenges on the penalty kill, that's kind of what it starts from. LA hasn't had much contestment coming into the zone. Like, how often have we seen so far this series that the LA have just waltzed right into the zone and done whatever they want? Like, there's been way too much of that. They've been able to set up, they've been able to move the puck, they've been able to open up teams, and I think a large part of that is they're just having way too easy of a time with puck retrievals and getting into the zone in general. Edmonton's defenseman, and I'll use like the Wallman getting walked the other day, that goal is an example where they haven't had tight enough gaps, they haven't been holding the blue line, they haven't been challenging. Like, how many times have we seen, which basically none, we haven't. I'll answer that question. We haven't seen yet in the first 2 games a power play where the LA Kings were just like stifled trying to get into the zone, where it's like they could never get set up, they could never get anything going, they could never get a good opportunity. There's been none of that. Edmonton just has not been able to do anything to limit the time and ability of LA to get into their zone. Guys, if they want to win this game, to me, that is a huge area where they need to improve tonight.
You want to add to that, Reed Rick, or you okay? You want to add to that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you're good. I'm kind of curious, Cass. I want to hear what you think of the question of the night. Then I'm going to rattle off some text. Hernan, if you want to fire out the question of the night to Cass and see what he has to say about it.
That's me, right? Yeah.
That's you, big boy.
Yeah. Cass, Calvin Pickard. He's been good the last 3 months, really good. I think for many, some would say he's been the better goalie of the 2. I know Stewie Skins missed some time with the head injury and all that. But can Calvin Pickard be a guy to turn this series around, or does he just need to make that save to keep him in games, Cass?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to be the guy to turn them around. He shouldn't be the guy to turn them around. Like, Stuart Skinner, to be that guy, last game would have had to make 6 of those saves. Like, not just one. Oh, because everyone's like, oh, you just needed that one save at that one time. And I'm like, okay, well, you needed that one save at that one time 6 freaking times. Like, and Pickard would probably be the same thing. I don't think Pickard has to be the guy to turn this around. I don't think Pickard does. You want me to pull a name that I think has to turn around? I'll give you 2. 1 on D, 1 on 4. 1, Evan Bouchard has to turn this around. He's got to be the guy that has to be a difference maker in this game. Defensively, first. Offensively, second. Another guy, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He has to be the guy to turn it around. Saying or having a feeling, I'm going to get fired up over this, that Calvin Pickard is going to be the guy to come in, even though he's been good, and he's going to be the difference. Oh, now Pickard's in net. Now we're going to win. Like, it's just so ridiculous to think that, because Calvin Pickard, when Evan Bouchard backhands a puck to the slot, isn't going to make that save. You give Adrian Kempe 30 seconds by himself in front of the net to do whatever he wants. Calvin Pickard's not going to make the save. Guess what happened to Calvin Pickard last game when you gave Kempe a clean look in front of the net? He got scored on, short side. There you go. Calvin Pickard is not going to be the guy that's a difference. Now, could it spark something in the rest of the guys? For sure it could. Absolutely it could. But the difference maker for this game is not going to be Calvin Pickard, nor should it be. It needs to be Evan Bouchard, or it needs to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. We know Connor's going to be going. We know Leon's going to be going, but somebody bloody else do something on the back end or on the front end. And those 2 guys that I've named multiple times already are it for me.
I love how fired up you got.
Everyone's just like, Pickard's going to save us. And it's like, no, he's not. That's not like, no, he's not. He's not. Because if you play like you did the last 2 games, you're still going to lose, no matter how good Pickard plays.
I think Bernstein said Ken Dryden wouldn't have bailed the Oilers out with the way they played defense in that last game.
No.
So I know. Listen, and Reed said it before. He's like, I don't want to get into the off-season stuff just yet because there's still hockey to be played, and there's a chance that the Oilers swing this thing around, and I believe in that as well. But I said it earlier in the day. Like, there are times where the low-hanging fruit gets picked way too much, and Stu Skinner's been in the crosshairs from Oil Country all season long, no matter what. Don't get me wrong, he's deserved a lot of that criticism this year because he has not had a very strong season overall. But this is a guy, again, third full season, and you're going to go to Calvin Pickard. So there are some out there that are going, Skinner, you're done. We're going to get rid of you. We don't want you anymore. We're going to go to Calvin Pickard. And then they're going to go out and get who? Who? To me, it's a bit silly at times. Anyway, I digress. Cass, give us the importance of the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game with the crowd behind them and everything that entails, because I feel like we're in for a special environment around the rink.
Yeah, I sure hope so. It's cool reading some of the stories like about the Bell Center and in Montreal today, like in just that atmosphere and how amazing it is. And I can say like that place is unbelievable in the playoffs. And you know what? Rogers Place, the Ice House, and everyone around there, it's pretty special too. It's a pretty special place in the playoffs, and the energy can be electric. And I think it's so important for the Edmonton Oilers, as we know it is, for them to score in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Like, you have the crowd there, you have them buzzing, like getting that first goal in terms of engaging the momentum and adrenaline and that push to say, screw you guys, we're going to win this hockey game no matter what. We're going to shove this down your throats. Like, yeah, we lost 2 in a row. Guess what? You're in our building now. You're going to lose 2 in a row here. And then we're going to turn this into a series where it's like, yeah, we're going to then take it and carry it back into your building and whoop you there. Like, you have to carry that through. And yes, the game is longer. It's as long as you need it to be, right, to win. If it's 60 minutes, it's 60 minutes. If it's 65, it's 65. If it's 80, it's 80. Like, it doesn't matter. But to me, like, this first 5 to 10 minutes, it's just so crucial for that momentum and that adrenaline and that just the positive energy, not just from the crowd, but just on that bench and in that dressing room.
We'll see if Calvin shows up. We'll see if the intensity is there. Cass, we'll see if they defend the blue line, because that's something they have not done a lot of this year, or this series, I should say, and at times this year as well. Fired up you were. I loved it. Bring it on the post-game show, whether or not the team wins or loses, okay?
Sounds good, buddy.
There you go. There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting now with The Agency. Go check them out if you're looking to get into the market, maybe buy a home, maybe sell your home, downgrade, upgrade, whatever you're looking to do. Not Calvin Pickard, Damon Bunting has got you covered. Tom Gazzola, Reed Wilkins still here with me. What time are you going to the rink? Are you going to stick around for
I'm going to go any minute if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you have any final parting words for everybody?
I don't know if I have anything wise to say. I've been on a lot the last 2 days.
Are you tired out? Because
I'm not tired. I'm not tired out at all. I'm just ready for the game to start so we can quit talking about it and see what happens.
Reed,
the Oilers are on the rope. They've been beaten, like I've been saying, they've been beaten in every area of the game.
Right.
However you want to break it down. And in some of those areas, the gap is alarmingly large. Despite everything we've been talking about, I still think it starts on special teams.
Yes.
Win special teams. PK priority over the PP. So do better on the PK. Then my next priority is do better on the PP. Then it's play better defensively, which is still important, but I think it starts with special teams. I mean, they're -5 on special teams, and they're -5 in total goals in the series.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you could argue that the 6-on-5 goals were sort of special teams, and sometimes it's when they go in and the momentum they create, but you got to be better on special teams. You got to be better defensively, and like I was saying earlier, you have to stay patient.
Right.
Cass alluded to it. Todd McClellan used to say it all the time. You got 60 minutes to win. In the playoffs, you could have forever to win. Don't give the game away. You know, the LA Kings have proven they are not going to give the game away. They have not turned the puck over in front of their own net. They have not made foolish clearing passes. They have not made risky plays.
Right.
You know, they're clicking in terms of skill-wise and all that kind of stuff, and then plus they're just playing smarter hockey. So for the Oilers, it's not necessarily work harder; it's work smarter. You know, and I think they're capable of doing it better. If they're not, then it's going to be over Sunday night. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Then you will have to talk about this team in the offseason.
Yeah,
on Monday.
which is fine.
Yeah, we can do it. You've done it many times in the past. Okay, go throw some elbows,
Okay,
big boy.
go.
Thanks for
Yeah,
hopping
thanks for
on.
having me.
There you go, Reed Wilkins, everybody. Fantastic
Reed.
stuff from Reed.
Oh, sorry.
Great,
You can't
great
hear me
help.
anymore, Tommy?
Reed, Joaquin wants to say something to you. Go ahead, Joaquin. You're still there, huh?
Reed, Joaquin Gage, EST Afternoons 1 to 3 here. Reed, don't let Tommy go enjoy the game. Get ready for it. Don't let him keep you there. I know you're a crutch to Tommy right now. He's really enjoying this, but great job today. Can't wait to see you on the postgame show.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
What a pile of crap.
Jeez.
Get out of here. Go throw some elbows. How dare you, Joaquin? Is Joaquin staying with you, Hernan? Is that what's happening?
No idea.
Is he? He's still there, huh?
I had meetings, Tommy. I had meetings to get done.
You don't have meetings.
Okay, whatever. Please. Cut Tommy off. Just get rid of Tommy's shot. Let's just do this professionally.
Oh my God, Joaquin Gage. Gager, it's good to hear your voice. You had a great show today, I will say.
You as well, Tommy.
Thank you.
Great show so far. There's a lot of tension. I'm just kind of waiting until
Tension.
I think there is.
Traffic clears up. It's going to be a easy drive home because everyone's going to be watching this soon.
Okay, Gager, since we have you, I'll just throw this at you. What do you think of what Cass said and the intensity and Calvin Pickard and people hanging this on him and that he's some sort of savior? I know you probably talked about it on EST Afternoons, but let us know your take on the pregame show here.
Well, it's kind of a weird situation this year with Calvin Pickard. I think no one just comes in there to want to be the backup. They want to be part of the team and do a little bit more. And he's kind of established himself at the end of the year as not the starter, but at least a 1B, I think, over the last few months, right? And I'm not in the room, but the common mantra coming out of there is everyone likes this guy. And how you do that as a backup is you're out there for extra work. You're working on certain things with players. You're the ultimate team guy, and he's done that. And what that turns into, what transpires from that is a relationship with your team that fights for you for success when you do get your chance to get in there. And I'm not saying they don't do the same for Stuart Skinner, but there's just something extra with the other guy that maybe doesn't play as much, that's well liked with the team, and say, hey, let's make sure we do this for Stuart Skinner, and I think or for Calvin Pickard. So I think that's what Nobla kind of sees and hopes what transpires tonight, and gives them a fighting chance, and hopefully he can take a couple goals away from the LA Kings tonight.
And there's good juju right now because the Canadians are going to win Game 3, down 2-0.
Yep.
St. Louis won Game 3, down 2-0. New Jersey's up in the third. They're down 2-0. The Oilers are going to continue the trend, boys. What are we worried about?
Hey, I hope for the sake of oil country you're right, but I'll throw this at both of you. One more for you, Gager. Is the template that the St. Louis Blues laid out against Winnipeg last night what the Oilers should try to follow? I know they want to focus on themselves, all that stuff, but like St. Louis went in there in the blink of an eye, it was 3-zip, and Logan Thompson's hurt here, guys.
Oh yeah,
that's not good.
He got railroaded here, but
yeah.
What St. Louis did to the is they took away time and space, and every time there was a hit, they finished every single check, right? Mm-hmm. No time, no space for the Winnipeg Jets, and even they were commentating on it, right? This wow, the intensity of them, and that's how they got to ramp it up. Geez,
that was his own player.
Yeah, Logan Thompson's really messed up here.
He's coming out. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
That's not good.
Sorry, Tom. We're just watching it live.
Sorry.
How about that Logan Thompson, Hernan?
Oh, smokes.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Anyways, I mean, time and space. That's the mantra tonight. Time and space. Eliminate it. And the Oilers are capable of it. It's just a commitment to it.
Yeah. It's and I don't know if this is fair, guys. I don't know if it's stupid. It's stupid to say maybe, but LA's due for maybe not an off night, but maybe they're not as good as they've been in the first 2 games. Maybe they have a little bit of a letdown tonight, right? Like, I mean, as Oiler fans, you're probably hoping that, but the Oilers got to be better. And, DB and Reed and everybody who's been on the show has said the same thing. The Oilers don't show up defensively. It doesn't matter about anything else, guys, because it doesn't matter who's in net. Doesn't matter if you get going one of the other lines. If you can't keep the puck out of your own net, and it's not always on the goaltending.
Right.
Defensively, all 5 guys got to be better. And that starts with your leaders, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard. Those are the guys that have to lead the way.
First 5 to 10 minutes, don't give up the lead. Get that save from Pickard, and then try to score and do what the Blues did to the Jets last night. Hey, Joaquin, thank you as always. Always appreciate your chirps, and what a pleasant surprise to have you on the pregame show tonight.
You're the best, Tommy.
You are. There you go. Joaquin Gage with a cameo. This is what happens on these shows where, we're here. We go to Cass for Game Changers. Reed comes, has a bite before he goes over to the rink. We got Dennis Bernstein on location. We got Manso back at EST Global HQ. We got a bunch of nasties who are here. VR Montenegro is here. Atif was here with his friend. We had CJ from Chicago who flew in from Chicago today. And then Corey B just got here as well. So that's great to see. And it's been a lot of fun. We got some texts that we got to get to in the last few minutes here. A huge shout out to the crew at Ice House. It's so nice to be back. Let's go to Conroe, Texas. Texting in says, Conroe, Texas, love Dennis Bernstein. Can you have him back on for the first game of the Oilers' second round matchup? Nanso, what do you think about that from Conroe, Texas? I like it. Good job.
He's an absolute beauty. He's
stirring it up.
Demeanor is just straight business, eh? Like he looks like he's ready to
Bernstein?
Punch someone in the face. Yeah.
Oh, he's from New York. He's originally from New York, and he doesn't mess around, man. Don't mess around with that guy. But he's a big sweetheart. He's a big sweetheart. Oh, that's a little secret I'll give you. He's a sweetheart. Let's go to the Whistle Dog. What a handle. The Whistle Dog texts in, says, Holland built a team to make it to the finals in his 5 years in Edmonton. They are by no means a contender, but still think that 97 will resign, maybe due to unfinished business. Here's another thing. I think Reed popped off on this a little bit earlier. Connor McDavid is not contemplating second-guessing re-signing here. I just want people to stop with this. It's silly.
It's ridiculous, man.
It is stupid. I'll say it. It's stupid.
Like, and Tom, it's coming from nowhere. Like, I know Biz tweeted out, like, Connor's got to be getting sick of this, but he's joking around people. Like, he's mocking you on purpose. He's making you pissed off on purpose. Like, enough with that. Connor McDavid is leaving stuff, man. Like, seriously, people. Seriously. Like, you want to act like it's all doom and gloom and it's the end of the world and blah, blah, blah. Go ahead. But, like, come on, people. Like, why are we even talking about that ahead of Game 3? The series is not over.
Because I'll tell you why. There are fans there with like a inferiority complex, and they're always scared. They're always worried. I'm just going to say it. It's not everybody. It's a small percentage, and it's a ridiculous statement to make that they think that this series, and if the Oilers don't advance to the second round, he's going to say, no, thanks. We're not going to win here. That's absolutely ridiculous. So I just want to say that that's stupid. I just had to say my 2 cents about it. And Bissonnette and Whitney and the Chicklets guys, they know how to get Oil Country riled up. They know how to push your buttons. It's smart marketing by them. All right, let's go to Cal. Back to Cal in the park. He said, for the question of the night, Pickard with his unorthodox style can do better than Skinner tonight. Not over a series, but tonight I agree with Cass on Bush and Nuge. And then going back to what we were talking about earlier, Cal in the Park's question that we were discussing, Hernan, when it comes to the defense and losing Desharnais and CC and guys like that. I was going to jump in, and I thought that Cal's intention there was in regard to in the room and the cohesiveness they had as a group. And then he said yes, but the room is what I was trying to talk about. Okay. And then Cal in the Park added that Skinner can score. How about Janmark, Podkolzin, and Kapanen, Nuge, Henry? Kapanen's a non-factor to me. He's just there,
I guess. It's crazy,
guess.
Tom. A lot of people today on our show were asking for Kapanen to get into
Why?
it.
To skate around and do nothing?
I guess.
That's what he does, guys.
Yeah,
but he's on the penalty kill, sure.
Tom, you weren't here today, so I guess I'll ask you. Like, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised there wasn't one change up to the forward group. Because, listen, Trent Frederick, we haven't seen the real one. We haven't. And that's fair. He hasn't played.
No, we're not going to.
No, he's not 100%. But he's a non-factor right now, Tom. Non-factor for this team. That could change tonight, but we can only go off what we've seen. And in the first two games, no one can sit here and tell me Trent Frederick's been good.
Right.
Right? And you have
he does have an assist. I mean, for the limited minutes he's played, he's trying, man. And I said it too on the Oil Stream earlier. I think part of it is you get him into the lineup because you traded for this guy. He's supposed to be your deadline acquisition on top of Wallman. Play him. And if he wants to play, he thinks he can play, they're putting him out there. Part of it is a justification for the trade.
Yeah.
That's how I view it.
Well, it seems like that's happening too much here, Tom, where it's like, let's just play the guy because we can't look stupid. And that's not a way to run the team. Because, listen, I don't know if Jeff Skinner comes in and does better. I don't. But at least he's healthy. At least he can change a game with one shot. Where Trent Frederick, I don't think, has that ability. I know he scored 17 and 18 goals, but, I mean, Skinner's a better shooter than he is. So, again, we're grasping here. Jeff Skinner, Trent Frederick. It's not going to be those guys that are going to turn the series around. It's going to be the big boys and the goaltending, the special teams, and all that. So, yeah, for me, it's... I don't know. I was a little bit surprised it didn't. I know they jumbled the lines, Tommy, but I thought they would make one move.
Just one more note on the acquiring injured players. It's tough to justify acquiring injured players, and that has happened too many times, in my opinion, at least. Frederick being one of them. Klingberg, Nanso, who surprisingly had a good game too. Regula.
Yeah.
And Roby Arventi, who they traded Xavier Barco for in the offseason. And he looks like he's headed back to Finland next year. What were we going to say?
Yeah, I was just on Frederick. It just seems that they thought it was going to heal a lot quicker than it has, Tommy. I think.
Yeah.
And I know Knobloch alluded to it where he goes, we knew it could go either way, and it's gone the latter, which is way longer than they anticipated. It's unfortunate because there is a player there. We've all seen him play in Boston. Those 7 minutes against LA in the regular season, he was really good. He was mucking it up. He was in scrums. He was all over it. But at the same time, it's that unless he signs in the offseason, Tommy, the Frederick one might go down as one of the worst trades in the McDavid era.
I'm not going to argue that because I can't. I really can't. It happened more than once, and you're just like, why are you trading for guys who are hurt? Anyway, we digress. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. The Oilers and Kings Game 3. We're coming at you from the Canadian Ice House in Ice District. Fans that were here to get a quick drink and a bite to eat are on their way to the rink. A few others are starting to come in here. There was a lineup to get in. I don't see it
How's the vibe
right
down
now.
there, Tommy? Is it
good.
Yeah.
Really good. Honestly, tons of orange and blue as expected. A lot of people coming by and saying hello. I think it's been great. It feels like old times, Hernan. I will say that.
Yeah, I went for a drive in between the shows, and even here out on the west side, man, Oiler jerseys everywhere, Tom. It's awesome to see. The city loves the Edmonton Oilers. It's just great to see. Hopefully, all the fans out there and at the Moss Pit and at the watch parties all leave happy tonight. It's a Friday night. It's nice outside. They deserve it.
Beautiful outside.
Just be safe out there. Don't act like an idiot at the Moss Pit, please.
There was a monster fight behind me and Cass 2 years ago after Game 1 against LA. Literally, That's the scene of the crime right back there. And then Cass was sitting across from me, and his wife Mandy was sitting over here. And literally, I watched this guy as this fight is happening behind me. I watched this guy run from my left to my right, and there's another guy standing to my right, and he just absolutely sucker punches him. And these two idiots go around throwing like haymakers at each other around to the back where they have like these 3 TVs and some other booths and some tables. And then like literally 2 minutes later, the cops come in and they're carrying these guys out like they're kids in junior high by the scruff of their neck. It was hilarious.
Were they both Oiler fans?
Oh, yeah, it was all Oiler fans. It was like 8 different Oiler jerseys versus each other, and then these 2 guys are Oiler fans. It was stupid, and we had to throw to commercial break, and the staff here, Janet and the crew had to go. They went to the security cameras, and they synced it up because Janet came by. She yelled, "Security!" So she went back to the broadcast because we used to put, like we do at our station now, is cut the show into a podcast so people can listen to it after. And they went back and listened to the audio, synced it up with the cameras, and played it for each other. And they would just start laughing at how it was all handled. And they were like, oh, my God, this was wild. So none of that tonight. We want it to be a good Friday night. People in orange and blue taking care of each other instead of fighting with each other. And hopefully the Oilers give them a reason to be happy. All right, Nanso, let's do one final time the lineups for tonight. We do have some confirmation on the back end for the Oilers because we knew there was some discrepancy when it came to the blue line. The lineups, as always, brought to you by our good friends over at South Fort Chev. Buy now and save 0% financing OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverados. You can also get a tire change on rim for $59.95 plus tax, and that deal comes if you mention that we sent you from EST to get it done. Drive a little, save a lot. South Fort Chev. All right, for the Oilers, McDavid between Draisaitl and Hyman, Podkolzin and Arvidsson, flanked by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Adam Henrique down the middle. You've got Kane on the left, Brown on the right, then Janmark back at center with Frederick and Perry on his wings. Here is the defensive shakedown. Here are your pairings. Nurse will be with Bouchard again. Wallman is with Klingberg. Kulak is with Emberson. So there, I guessed wrong. I thought we might see Kulak with Klingberg or Bouchard, pardon me. It's not the case. Kulak is going to be paired up with Emberson tonight. So Nurse with Bouchard, Wallman with Klingberg, Kulak with Emberson. That is your lineup for the Oil. As for the LA Kings, Kopitar between Kuzmenko and Kempe. No change there because it's working really well. Then you got Byfield with Fiala and Laferriere, Philip Deneau centering Warren Fogle and Trevor Moore, and then Jeff Malott, Samuel Hellenius, and Trevor Lewis is the fourth line. They will go back to 12-6 like Bernstein was anticipating. On defense, Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty, Vladislav Gavrikov with Jordan Spence, Joel Edmondson with Brant Clark. There are your lineups, your starting goalies for tonight. We're going to see Darcy Kemper for the LA Kings, and then Calvin Pickard making his first start in the postseason since that second game he got against the Vancouver Canucks in the second round. We saw Pickard briefly in game number 2, came on in relief of Stu Skinner, played like 9.5 minutes. Just an out-of-town score update. Montreal's just made it 6-3. They've got this thing. The Bell Center's rocking, going absolutely crazy, and hopefully we're seeing Rogers Place doing the same thing tonight.
Tom, some breaking news just coming down the pipe a couple of minutes ago. Tampa Bay's Brandon Hagel has been suspended for one game for his interference against Florida's Alexander Barkov.
What'd you think of that hit?
It was greasy, man. It was
bad timing. Puck wasn't there. I mean, the puck went by, but
frustration too, right? They're not playing well, and I know Hagel thought it was clean, but when I initially, Tom, when I first saw it, I was like, he was going for the puck, but then when you look at it, he was late, and he catches him pretty bad there. So Brandon Hagel is going to serve one game. That's a huge loss for them too, Tom. Down 2-0.
He's a great player. 90 points this year. Excellent for Canada. I think he really opened up some eyes to what he's capable of doing, playing for Canada at the Four Nations face-off. And I'm not going to lie to you, Hernan. When I listened to the audio from that hit, you heard I think it was Barkov or Hagel, maybe, one or the other, when you heard them make contact and you heard the ooh. I was like, oh, you knew it was a solid hit.
Yeah.
So, and I watched it again. I saw it from a couple different angles, and I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be a suspension. But, hey, that's a elite player knocking out an elite player.
Yes, 100%.
But the Lightning have some work to do, down 2-0 in that series. All right, we're going to wrap things up with a couple of texts here. Troy says, go Oilers, go. What a better way to score. Lots of goals and at home on a beautiful day as well. My prediction is a 6-1 win for the Oilers. Troy, thanks for the text. Let's go to Rob from the Grove. Says, looking sharp, Tom. Thank you, Rob from the Grove. Always appreciate that. Timber Woodsman says, there is too many bad decisions / trades by this management. Yes, Timber Woodsman, when the time comes, we will dive in on those, but just, it is worth mentioning. And then Timber Woodsman also says, Janmark goal tonight. Let's go. Let's see it happen, as they could use a goal from absolutely anyone and everyone, especially early on in this game. A huge thank you to Patty Ketty, Nikki, Carly, Tian, the entire staff here at Canadian Ice House. So nice to be back here. Huge thank you to the Nasties who showed up. CJ from Chicago, literally came in from Chicago, started the show with us. I see VR Montenegro and Corey Beer here. Atif was here earlier, and it's going to be an awesome time, and hopefully the Oilers make it even better with a victory tonight. A big thank you to Dennis Bernstein for stopping by from the fourth period, Reed Wilkins, and Joaquin Gage, who happened to hop on. And for Matt Kassian, Hernan Salas, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy Game 3. We'll see you on the post-game show live here at the Canadian Ice House in Ice District. Enjoy the game. Ciao.